C.L. Brown with ESPN.com. Can you kind of summarize what Rashid Suleiman has meant to this team from a leadership perspective, especially in the postseason?
Well, his leadership's been great all year. With his personality, he didn't really wait to start leading. He started doing it right away, and our team needed it. Really vocal early, leadership-wise. As the season went on, he became a much better practice player and led that way also. But obviously, he has a little bit of experience in this tournament. His freshman year, I think they went to the Elite Eight at Duke, so he has a good feel for it, and he's been good. The guys really respect him. Obviously, he was tremendous on Sunday night when we made our run. He was great defensively, made some nice plays offensively. So he's been terrific. He's been everything and more than I was expecting, and so I'm happy for him.
Let's go on the right side and the back, and then we'll come here to the left side.
Jim Womble, ESPN Louisville. Coach, talk about what you think of Louisville as a host city and your overall thoughts on the city.
Well, we just landed, so I've seen the hotel and a bus. But no, it's a basketball town, so we're excited about that. I love the location of the Yum Center and all the hotels down here. It'll be great for the fans. I think a lot of people will just be able to walk to the games, which should be a lot of fun.
Don Marcus from Baltimore Sun. Mark, can you talk about the other night when you had that run in the second half? As a coach, do you want to see, do you see more of that happening in a game like this because of the way Kansas plays? And also, does your team sometimes play up and down to the level of competition? So in the case of Kansas, it could be a good thing that they play up to the competition.
Don, how can you ask that question? We've been together all year. We've done that all year. But I'm just glad we had that run. We were really tight, and finally we broke loose. Our defense got us going. So I just think this time of year everybody's dialed in and ready to play, and I expect Kansas to play well and expect us to play well. Should be a great game, but our guys will be they're fired up because they have a lot of respect for Kansas, and they are the best team in the tournament, so that gets our attention.
Back here in the green.
Mark Fahey, Gregorian, Kansas City Star. I noticed the other day you mentioned that you hate to have to play Kansas. The reason's obvious, of course, but I wonder if you could elaborate a little bit on what it's like for you to play KU. And then if you can answer this afterwards, just compare 85 and 2015 as World Series events.
That's a lot of questions. Okay, first of all, the Kansas thing's not that weird to me anymore or unique. It was a little bit that way the first time we played, but being at Texas A&M, we played them a lot, and you get used to it. So I'd rather play them in a national championship game than a Sweet 16 game, but here we are, so we'll play it. But it is what it is, and it's as Bill can tell you when he plays Oklahoma State, which he's done a lot. It's probably not unique or weird to him anymore. He just does it. So that's kind of the way I feel about this game. As far as the World Series go, I grew up just a diehard Royals fan, Chiefs fan, Kansas fan, but I was lucky enough to be in the 85 building when they won it. Game 7 was a blowout, and that was fun. And this year I've kind of brainwashed my kids into being diehard Royals fans, and so we got to be there at Game 5 in New York, I took my 2 boys, and it was a lot of fun. We got by the end of the game we were on the dugout. Basically, we were in the front row of the dugout because the Mets fans started to leave. So it was a special night. It was to do that with my 2 boys and watch the Royals. I literally can't go to bed at night till I get a Royals score. Unless they're playing away on the West Coast, and it gets pretty hard. But, yeah, it's something I follow pretty closely.
We'll stay here in the front and then go 3 over here, and then we'll come to the right side.
Mark, Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. Mark, can you just take us through your recruiting battle to get to Kansas out of high school for you?
Oh, my recruiting battle?
Yeah, the recruiting battle for Mark Turgeon services.
Yeah, I think I was down on my knees begging Coach Brown to take me. I think that's really what it came down to, or my dad was doing that. So, I got very lucky. There was a coaching change. The coach happened to be 5'11", like me, and And thank God they had 15 scholarships back then. You know, now we only have 13, so I probably wouldn't have been on the team. But it all worked out, and it was a one-year deal. It's like, hey, you got one shot, and if doesn't work out, you won't be here next year. So it worked out, and you know, I talked to Coach Brown this week, and you know, I just changed my life, obviously, for the better. So I was very fortunate, and played on a lot of great teams too. So it was a lot of fun. Ted started it, yeah, and I recruited KU. I went to their camps and go to their games, and yeah, I recruited them. So in the end, my high school coach, Coach Meskey, really helped set up a meeting, and I was pretty confident at that age, to say the least, when I met with Coach Brown.
Bob Lutz, Wichita Eagle, that's one leap of faith. What about the other one, when Jim Schaus called you and wanted to hire you after only 2 seasons at Jacksonville State and bring you to Wichita State? What were those years like for you as a coach?
Yeah. Well, and I had a losing record at Jacksonville State. My second year we won. And I just remember waking up that morning in Jacksonville and I had one more player to get. And I said, oh, by the way, I got a phone interview with Jim Schaus from Wichita State today. I said, I have no shot. I said, but I'm going to talk to him about 9 o'clock. And by 10 o'clock, I think I had the job. We were on the phone for about an hour and then went over to Atlanta. And so Jim, you know, it was great. Worked out great for me. Was able to go home. We loved being in Wichita. We had KU fans. We had Wichita State fans. We became friends with some K-State fans while we were there. And it was a big part of our life. 2 of my kids were born in Wichita. And I'm really proud of what we did at Wichita, and I'm even more proud of what Greg's done with it. Don't go to sleep at night unless I get a Wichita State score. Obviously was following them closely last week, but really proud of that program, what Jim and I were able to do, Don Beggs, to build that thing up and be a part of a Sweet 16 10 years ago. When I took the job, if someone was walking in the office, someone couldn't be going out of it. It was that narrow. So the facilities weren't great, and we put a lot into it. I couldn't show recruits the locker room on the visit. There's too many cockroaches down there. So that thing's come a long ways, and playing a Final Four and win 28, 30 games every year, it's amazing.
One more here on the left, then we'll hit the right side.
Hi, Coach. Janine Edwards,
Hey,
ESPN.
Janine.
How are you? Good to
Doing
see you.
great. You too.
You had said to your team before Saturday night's game, we're going to have a game where shots are not going to fall.
Yeah.
And so you experienced that. What were some of the things your players were saying to you in the huddles during the timeouts when they were going through that rocky patch in that game? And how do you think that helped them and helped prepare them for tomorrow?
Well, I'm glad I said that to them. But that's the way we've played all year. We've been a little inconsistent. And during the timeouts, we just kept talking about our defense because our defense was terrific. And that was a hard matchup for us. They had a lot of little guards, guys that we had to chase. And our guys were just terrific. And then I told a really bad Larry Brown joke about the 12-minute timeout, and I think the score was tied, and it really loosened us up. And I can't say. But Coach Brown knows, and I told him about it, and our guys know, and can't be repeated. And we just relaxed. It was amazing. But I was desperate. I was like, I felt like we were clearly better than Hawaii. We just had to relax and play, and we finally did. And we went on a 14-0 run. But it's just trying to get the guys to loosen up a little bit.
Let's do 2 in front here on the right, and then go to Tim in the back.
Sam Davis, KJHK Lawrence. Saw you talking to Bob Davis during practice time. What's your relationship with him like?
Really not a big fan of Bob's, to be honest with you. No, I tell you what, time goes fast. And, you know, I grew up with Max Falkenstein, first of all. My dad used to play golf with him. Max taught me a few curse words I never knew before, you know, back in the day. But it is amazing how quickly it's gone. I think Bob was there my sophomore year, was his first year at Kansas, and then I hear he's retiring. It goes way too fast, and I watched his son Steven grow up and be a part of all of it. So happy for him. He can go out on his terms. He's been great. He's been lucky. He's got to call a lot of victories, Final Fours, national championships. He's had a nice run. So we had a great relationship. I'm happy for him, and he's had a great career.
Mark Rickpone, Wichita Eagle. Can we talk about Melo a little bit? How much has he had to do with you guys getting to the Sweet 16 and just talking about his development? And you talked about your team having inconsistent shots.
Yeah.
He's had some of those. But as a point guard, which you know well,
Yeah.
just talk about his point guard development,
Yeah,
not
well,
just his shooting.
The only thing I can say about Melo is he's a winner. The year before we got Melo, we were 17 and 15. And I think we're 55 and 15 cents or something like that. So he's a pretty good player. He's really gotten better at his point guard play. His assists are up, his turnovers are down, his decision-making's better. Defensively, he's come a long ways for us in the last year. He just hadn't shot the ball like he did his freshman year. He really shot it well and was very relaxed. A lot more pressure on him this year. But he's a tremendous player. Knows how to score in a variety of different ways. So just try not to put too much on him. Just try to get him to relax and trust his teammates a little bit more and just run the system. So he's got a good feel for it. No, just preseason player of the year. We had a lot of expectations. It was all new for us at Maryland this year. I mean, we had it 10, 12 years ago, but it was new. So, but he's had a terrific year. I mean, he was second team All-League and had 24 and I think 19 in the 2 games out in Spokane. So he's had a terrific year.
You have 1, maybe 2. Let's start right here.
Tim Sullivan, Louisville Courier-Journal. Mark, last year there were Duke and Kentucky in the Final Four with freshman-dominated teams. This regional is very heavy on experience.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened last year as an anomaly, and what is the benefit of experience in this tournament?
Well, experience is huge, and that's I love that there's seniors doing what they're doing this year. You know, Suleiman for us, Jake Lehman decided to come back. He's had a great year. Perry Ellis, year he's having for Kansas in our games. So it's great because it hopefully keep kids around, help them make good decisions, and make college basketball better. Was last year an anomaly? Could be. Now next year, Kentucky and Duke and Michigan State are putting together some really good young recruiting classes. They could probably do some great things next year, but I think it's great for college basketball that there's a lot of upperclassmen doing well, and it's more about them this year than it is about the freshmen. I think it's great for our game.
Squeeze one more in here.
Gary Graves, Associated Press. Coach, what do you like about your inside game and how well you think it compares to Kansas's game?
Well, I have good bigs. They continue to get better. I think Diamond Stone and Robert Carter have really gotten better defensively as the year has gone on. They'll be challenged tomorrow night, obviously. DeMonte Dodd's a young man we have a lot of confidence in, great defender, smart defender, good ball screen defender. We have to be great in ball screen defense tomorrow night. All 3 of those guys are pretty good. And Checo hasn't played a lot, but Checo might see some time tomorrow night too. Gives us a little more depth. So worry about Kansas' speed. They're big guys. They're a little bit faster than ours, and I worry a little bit about their speed. So we've worked on some things to try to prepare our guys. But we have good bigs. They have good bigs. Should be a great matchup.
Coach, we got to let you go.
Okay.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.